Hi, everybody. This is Vickie from Green Sewing and Vacuum, and glorious weather today. It was really kind of a tough day to be stuck inside. It's interesting, February, and we have 70 degrees, but anyway, still gorgeous out. So just a few things to show you. Some things, I don't think you've seen any of it yet, but anyway, we do have, we had talked about in the past. I'm going to go through these things first. Kimberbell's, the embroidery club that we are doing. So the February project is I think I showed you the flyer the last time, but the project is this real cute little zipper pouch. And I don't know, I think I might have gotten it there where you can see there's pineapples in there. They're trapuntoed. And just really a cool process on getting these done. So this is actually the February download. And if you are not one of our Premier members, it is one that you can do just the single design. This design is $10. You would just sign up online, and then I would contact Kimberbell, and they would send you this download. We do have the kits made up for this. And they are $12.95. And we've got, what we did is we've included the stabilizers and the foam that's used in it. They're included in the kit. We did do the stabilizers so that you shouldn't have any kind of an issue. They're the same ones that we had used. And so this is the design that they are doing for February on this little pouch. We took the quilting designs, though, because we've been trying to do a little secondary project just to give you another idea of something to do with the design. And Raina did up this real cute little towel topper with this awesome pineapple fabric that it has been, I told you about this the last time we got together. This is a fabric that was designed exclusively for us by Mary Beth Made It. It's got a beautiful, beautiful pineapple and gorgeous colors. There's some greens and blues and golds and browns, just beautiful on this kind of a raspberry pink background. And then we just put a little towel on there, and it says, "Your one fine apple." And we have our instructions that we wrote up for you on this. That's the little secondary design that we designed out for that. And we did kit that also. This one does not include the stabilizers, but it's got the fabric and the towel and the button in it. And then our instructions that we wrote up that coincide with the instructions that you print off from Kimberbell. And so, but just a beautiful, beautiful fabric, and it turned out really cool. And the kit on this one for the little pineapple towel is only $6.95, so pretty cool. So then last time we had gotten together, I showed you the vinyls that had come in, again, that Mary Beth had designed exclusively for us. And I don't know if you remember the B one or not, but there's the B vinyl, and we used the Kimberbell. It's called Take a Peek zipper pouch. Very cute. It's got, I believe it's 6 different sizes. Some of them are vertical, some of them are horizontal. Some of them use the clear vinyl, some of them use the colored vinyl. Well, we went ahead. This is the large horizontal, and we kitted that. So you've got the vinyl. If you've never played with any kind of vinyls before, we've got the B vinyl in it, this interior lining fabric, the Kimberbell clear vinyl, and then the Kimberbell lace zipper. And so we made this up. It's done in the hoop, and we kitted that. It's all right here, and this kit is $14.95. So it's got everything that you would need except the stabilizers, but to do the little B zipper pouch. I just think that is so cute. I love it. Of course, I love those bees. They're just awesome. Bees are very popular right now. We have a line of fabric that's got honeybees on it. We're anxious to get that in. So I also remember the fabric that's called She Who Sews. I believe it's called She Who Sews, that we showed the last time that I said we'd gotten all of them. Well, this is actually, this piece right here is the border stripe. There's a border panel on the fabric that runs 4 rows of this border stripe along the length of the fabric. So what I did is I cut one of the border stripes from that, added a couple borders, put it back on it, quilted it, and made a bench pillow. Turned out really, really cute. So what we did is we took the border panel. I wrote the instructions up for what I did on the pillow here, and we cut the border panel at a yard long by the width that you would need. And then we've got the yardage requirements on here for the accent border, the outer border, and the backing, so that you could choose your own accent borders and backing to go with it. But it's really, really cute and super simple. I mean, this was done in no time. Quilted it on my embroidery machine, put the backing on it, put the bench pillow inside. And if you've already got, if you're doing a lot of holiday related bench pillows, if you're wanting to tuck one of those away, this could sit out for quite some time, obviously, but just really cute. I thought this was fun. I like this one. So we have these available also. And then I did, when I had been sick, didn't really feel like doing too much. At one point I'd gone into my sewing room just to kind of see what there was that I could do that was kind of brainless. So I sat down at my sewing machine and I looked over, and there was a pile of stuff on the side of the sewing machine. It was on the floor. And so I kind of dug through it. Well, I found this project that I had cut out probably close to 2 years ago. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. It's cut, it's ready to go. So I picked this up and I decided to get this done. And so this is actually done with the log cabin. I think I can get close there. Close. I'm trying to see at the same time. This is done with the Creative Grids log cabin curvy 4-inch ruler. You do 4 of the little log cabins to make the pumpkin. And so just, so the creative, or this is the cut loose pattern. The cut loose pattern is $3.50, but you need the ruler in order to make this, because the pattern doesn't tell you how to do the log cabins. You have to have the ruler in order to do the log cabins. But got this done in no time. It was very quick. Well, then for those of you that know me, I don't like to do applique. If applique has to be done on a sewing machine, it'll sit for who knows how long. So I sat there and I thought, okay, well, 2 more years, or what do I do? So what I did instead is I put it on the embroidery machine, which I'm going to show that to you in a little bit. But I just remembered I wanted to show you just a few more patterns by Cut Loose that are using that 4-inch log cabin ruler. So here's the boo. This is the one that I did. I think you can see it there. And then I'm going to need that. Then this is really cute. It's called Happy Noel, and it's 4 ornaments and flying geese around. That's using the 4-inch again. Then this is just, I mean, great time of year for this, but that American flag is done using the 4-inch log cabin. And then this little guy, he's called Noggin. He could be either an elf or a gnome, not quite sure, probably more of a gnome since he doesn't really have the eyes, but he is also done with that 4-inch. And then some of you have seen the big tree that we have back here in the shop that was done with the 8-inch curvy that I put the lights in. They came out with this littler wall hanging or a table runner that is done with the 4-inch. And then this one also uses the Creative Grids Strippy Star, which does the little stars that are up there on the top. But these are all great rulers, and they just make your log cabins come out to exactly the size that you need. So, but just some kind of fun ones. And so every time I look at these, I think, oh, I got to make that one, got to make that one, got to make that one. And they're great for just like even stash busters, because you can use scraps on so many of these, and you don't need much fabric at all for them. Then, like I said, we do have the various rulers. This is the 4-inch curvy, and then we've got the 4-inch straight, because sometimes you need to have just a straight log cabin. And then this is that little Strippy Stars ruler. So when I did Boo to You, of course you can see that the Boo letters, the leaves and the stem are appliqued. Well, normally you would take those appliques, trace them onto a fusible web, and of course adhere them and then stitch them down with a blanket stitch or whatever stitch that you want to use to stitch them to the top. I can't stand to do applique. I mean, I just find that to be the most boring thing in the world. It's like watching paint dry. I never do the corners very well. I always end up throwing it off. It doesn't come out straight. I get frustrated. I think it looks ugly and I want to chuck it. So I just thought about this and thought about this, and I went, I can do this on my embroidery machine. I showed you something similar before the holidays, but I'm going to go probably a little more extensive, because basically you'd kind of look at this and think, is that really going to scan into the machine, and is that really going to work? Well, it did. It worked really well. So let me just kind of show you some things that I did with it, and we'll go from there. So I took it and adhered it, stuck it on the scanning frame. So you've got your magnets that come with it. And remember, you don't want to put anything over this black and white up here at the top. That's how the machine calibrates and reads it. So just stick those magnets up there to hold it down. We were playing today. So you're going to...
You need your mouse.
Oh, yes, I need my mouse. That's right. Tina's mouse broke today on her iPad. So she came over and stole the one off the Solaris.
I'm sorry.
So here comes my mouse. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I got a mouse. My poor mouse. Okay, so we're going to go into IQ Designer, and we're going to go right up here to this little leaf, right up here at the top. And we want to do a line design because we just want the lines on this. So we'll tap the line design. I'm going to put the scanning bed on and hit scan. And of course, it's going to tell me that the frame's going to move. So we say okay and let it do its thing. See, the camera is over there. That's why it feels like it's reading out in La La Land. Okay. So it's brought up my whole design there. Well, obviously, I don't want all of this stuff, nor do I really want these magnets on here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag that over. And I'll drag it up a little bit. Bring it down. Go back up. Too far. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to leave it there and I'll say, okay. So at this point, I can make it sharper, whatever. I'm like, nope, I'm fine with it. It's okay the way it is. I do want to, though I have an option down here. Right now it's on a zigzag. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change this to a double run. And then retry. And set. Okay, so now at this point, what I want to do is I'm going to lighten up my background because I just want to see this section right here. So I'll come over here. I'm going to hit my size button. It was already centered. Never mind. So take the eraser right here. And I'm going to make it, I generally find I work better with a square than the circle. And I'm going to make it quite a bit bigger. Come up here, I'm at 100% right now. I'm going to take this up to about 400%. So take the eraser and I'm just going to erase, first off, the excess that's out there in La La Land. So I'm going to use the hand so I can pan down, eraser, and get rid of more of the writing. And bring it down. Because I basically just want to leave the boo, the letters boo, and the leaf and the stem. Oops. See, the beauty of being able to back up. Because at this point, I probably should make that eraser smaller. So I can get rid of some of those little teeny tiny things over there. So when you get this cleaned up, then you're going to take the whole thing . So you don't want it to have the words cut in there because it's telling me how many I need, which I don't really care because I'm not doing it that way. This is the exciting part, isn't it? Watching me erase. Now on the leaves, what I did, I need to make this a little bit smaller. You'll see on the leaves, you've got these little extra veins. I could have left them in there, but I didn't really feel I needed them. So I went ahead and I erased those also. But you can get as crazy as you want, or not. So then I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. See what else? Oh, see, there's more words in there. Okay, so then once you get it cleaned up, and I'm probably going to find some other little things in there, but once I get this cleaned up to this point, because I'm going to want to use this and reuse this every time. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the IQ memory of the machine. So then once I have done that, now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the letter B and have it set by itself, the letter O set by itself, the leaf set by itself, and the stem set by itself. So what you're going to want to do, because I have saved this in IQ, so now I'm going to come in and actually, I'm thinking, we've got this set for double run. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And the reason I want to do that is to show you, because right now it's got a red box just around these three. But if I link this, so see what happened is out here, there's just a little bit, I left something out there. These are good because this is the stem, this is the leaf, this is the letter O, and this is the letter B. But this little tiny red box that's floating out here, that means when I erased, I missed something. So I'm going to return. I'm going to blow this up to about 400%, take my hand and go over in that area and see if I can find the little bugger. Maybe I need to blow it up a bit more. There it is. See that little thing right there. So that, because the machine is seeing it, so we need to erase it. So we said, okay, I'm going to go back down to my 100%, and I'm going to put it in the memory again, because now I've taken that little bit out of there. And so now this time, if I go to next, and I link, it's only linking those letters. I don't have anything floating. When I did this at home, I had all kinds of little floating things out here because I hadn't cleaned it up. So I'm going to go back because I only want one item. So I'm going to, in this instance, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to save the letter O. So I'll blow this back up to about 400%. I've already got my eraser set. Take the hand. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to erase. Make this puppy bigger. I'm just going to erase all but the O. So you want to be careful when you're erasing, I can back up. That's okay. Tina's copying something. She thinks I'm boring.
No.
And this is kind of boring, but sorry, guys. It's part of the process. So you can see you just want to save, just in this instance, just that O. So I will get rid of everything else. So now I have the O, but what I want to do is I just want to change the color here just because it makes me happy and I know that I've got it cleaned up. So there. So then when I go to the next, now at this point, it only has the red box around the outside. So what that means is any changes I make to the run pitch or the stitch length at this point is only going to be to that outside part of the O. If I want to do the inner, which I do, I want to link it. So see, then a red box goes around it also. So any changes I make, it's going to happen to both the outside and the inside. So I'm just going to lengthen that stitch length, say okay. I'm going to put it in the memory at this point because it'll put it in the memory of IQ and embroidery. So we save that, we hit set. It's telling me it's going to convert it. I say okay, because that's what I want you to do. Now I'm going to edit it, move, and center it. And say okay. I'm going to go ahead and just stick it in the memory just because I want to. It's always a good idea to save, save, save. So now if I were getting ready to stitch this, what I've got right now is a double run, or basically just kind of a basting stitch, which it's showing me a placement line for my applique. So I want to now, I've got the placement, now I need a tack down. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, see how it offsets it. So I go to move, hit center, and now it's right on top of that one. So I say okay. But now I need to go out there and I need to add, go into IQ Designer, go into the pocket of IQ Designer because I saved that. I'm going to bring that back up because I now want to apply a blanket stitch, a satin stitch, whatever. I applied a satin stitch. So take the satin stitch. I'm going to change my color to a color gold. Say okay. Take that bucket to apply it to the outer circle and the inner circle. going to go to next. Remember, I want to link it because it's only going to make the changes to the outer circle. So I link it, and now it's going to make changes to both. So I know I like to read my zigzags in millimeters, and this is in inches. So I'm going to come up here, go forward, change to millimeters, say okay, because for some reason zigzag I do in millimeter, and I generally like to have it at a 4.0 millimeter. I found for this design that worked best. Say okay. Then for density, right now it's on 100%. I can take it up to 110. It just fills it in a lot nicer. I say okay. Let's go ahead and stick it in the memory just because we can. We say set. Yes, I want to convert it to embroidery. I'm going to go to edit, move, center it, and now I will go ahead and say embroidery. And you can see right here if we go through the steps. So the first step that I've got is my placement. Then I've got my tack down. Then I've got my satin stitch. So then what I would do is I've got that placed in the memory of the machine. So now I would go back home. I would go ahead. I'm not going to have you sit through all that again, but you go into IQ, you go into your pocket, you bring up that boo, and you would go through the process with your eraser and either erase everything but the bee or work on your leaf or work on the stem. You would save those, and then, let me come back here, Tony. So then what you would do when you've got all your letters, you've got everything saved that you need to put on there, then you could just, I quilted my item. I could have done my applique before I quilted it, but I just decided to go ahead and quilt the whole thing. And then I did my appliques. I just kind of spaced them where I wanted them, put my stem on, the leaf, and then the BOO. And it just worked out much better for me. As I said, I don't like to do applique, so I let the machine do the applique for me. So I know one other time I had done that, like with the snowman nose, and people said, oh, I didn't really go. You kind of didn't go far enough. So I hope I went far enough for you this time that you got that so you could see it. And it's just really a fun way to do. I like to do it that way. You can do, like I said, you could do the blanket stitch. You could do the candle wick. Any of those stitches that are available on the machine, you can go ahead and do them for your applique stitch. So anyway, hope you liked that, and hope to see you in the shop soon. Look forward to it, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, if not. So thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you later. Bye.